Five Nights at Freddy's is more than just a franchise at this point, it's basically an entire genre. Just go to Game Jolt, they've got an entire section for these games.
Damn!
And I've played a pretty good amount of those games in the past. Some of them I liked, some of them I maybe didn't like as much, some of them... Why did I play this? Now, this is my first proper review on this channel. So how about we revisit one of the first FNaF fan games ever made? And it's an official reboot that came out quite recently actually. So, it's the end of 2014, a couple of months before FNaF 3 actually came out. And some guy known as Poniator Films decided, you know what, I'm not gonna wait for FNaF 3, I'm gonna make my own FNaF 3. And that's what it was called until the real thing got announced and the name was changed. And what about the game itself? Well, I can see why it was impressive back then, but I wouldn't say it aged well. The game for the most part used assets from the original FNaF games. There was also that Sugar the Cat animatronic, but it was actually a ripoff of Candy the Cat by Emil Mako. Needless to say, the original creator wasn't pleased, so the character was removed from the game in the later update. Well, what about the gameplay? Well, it's... First of all, there's no actual AI, everything is completely scripted. Second of all, doors are useless. The lights don't show you anything and the doors themselves are completely broken. Makes you wonder, how can animatronics even make it into your office? How did you make it into your office?
If you ever find an empty Freddy Fazbear head lying around, it's probably toxic. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend wearing it for too long.
So the mask is your only way of defending yourself. Just be careful and don't accidentally take off the mask or... Oh wait. They really take their time, don't they? And even then, that sometimes just straight up doesn't work. Like, what did they do wrong here? Why is the music still playing? Hello? The game is just a glitchy mess in general. Heck, even the intro glitched out on me. Like, everything's fine and then boom, this happens. Oh, and also that. Wait, before we go, let me check something. Nice. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about the reboot. Okay, let's start with the graphics. There's a massive team of people behind this game and it really shows. All the models look great. The puppet is my personal favorite one. I like this model way more than the official version. Maybe that's just because it looks a bit angrier, I don't know. So, how do these animatronics behave? Well, first of all, they're no longer scripted and instead have an actual AI. So, that's an improvement. Just like in the original fan game, the puppet is the first one to become active. At the start of every night it goes to the show stage to activate the animatronics, which is indicated by this warning sign. Before you see that, you might as well not even do anything. Otherwise you're just wasting power, and it drains really quickly here. Not as quickly as the flashlight, but we'll get to that. Puppet and Chica share the same pattern. They go to you from the right, you see them in the window, you close the door, easy. Now, here's a fun story for you. For a while I thought that the door lights were glitched. I mean, I pressed the lights button, the door is still dark, and apparently I just completely ignored that window over there. Because I'm just a fucking dumbass. I mean, how did I not notice that? Yeah, just let it in. Great idea. You can guess what happened later. Freddy behaves the same way he did in FNaF 1. You see him in the right corner, you close the door. Bonnie is pretty simple to deal with. You just put on the mask and you have plenty of time to react. Now, Foxy is kind of a mix between his FNaF 1 and FNaF 2 behaviors. You can keep track of him in the Pirate Cove, which I think slows him down. I'm not certain about that. And when he does leave, you just use your flashlight and he goes back to the cove. There's actually another character you have to use your flashlight against. Yes, this cheeky bastard is back, and he's out to steal your battery in a bit of a different way. He is the only character to appear in the vents, and you need to use your flashlight to scare him off. Now this doesn't sound like that big of an issue, right? Well, here's a problem. It takes ages for them to go away. I mean, just look at this. Why does this have to take so long? Still waiting. And there he goes. That only took like a whole bar of my flashlight meter. This really becomes a problem later on. You know, I'm still stuck on knife 5. And there is a cheat mode that I thought would help me out, you know, the CD plus thing. If you push those 3 buttons at the same time, you activate this cheat mode that gives you infinite energy. But it doesn't give you infinite flashlights, so it's useless. You can also push CD minus and bring your power level to 5%. Okay. Here's something interesting. Both Puppet and Freddy can appear in your office before attacking you. Not that it really matters. Only Bonnie can be fooled by the mask, so if you see either of those two, you're basically screwed. And what about the cat character? Well, it wasn't actually used in the game for obvious reasons. But the phone guy does share some interesting details with us.
There were these two weird scrapped characters that two brothers, who were into each other a little too much, if you ask me, ripped off from some candy commercial. Needless to say, that didn't fly, and the characters, I think they were named Sugar and Kitty, were dumped. Though if I recall, their heads are in the box in the backstage area. Well, that's all I have tonight. See you tomorrow.
I gotta say, I really like this explanation aside from,
Two brothers, who were into each other a little too much.
that. You know, I did a bit of research before making this video, and yet I still feel like I'm missing out on some details. That sounds oddly specific. By the way, a certain someone comes to visit you on night 5. Now, should I use a tablet or a mask? A tablet or a mask? I'm gonna die, aren't I? So yeah, just use your tablet and he'll go away. Get used to him, he appears a lot on night 5. Maybe on night 6 too, I don't know, I haven't even made it there yet. Alright, so what's the final verdict? Well, it's a good game, a great one even. It takes what the original Return to Freddy's tried to do, and executes those ideas perfectly. I didn't run into a single glitch, and it was just generally a really fun experience. For the most part. Go check this game out on GameJolt, I'll leave the link in the description. My job here is done, so I'm out.
Here. Don't you have more important things to do? I suppose you don't.